I'm sorry, cheese. I need this. Because today I'll be reviewing this. And with the cheese out of the way, we can finally take a better look at the new McLaren MP4 at Ash4 and Ayrton Senna. Now, when this little baby was announced, I was stoked. There are not a lot of cars from the 80s that have been so imprinted in my memory as this Formula One car. Of course, the legacy of Ayrton Senna and what he did with the car was amazing back then. And this car was everywhere. So Lego coming up with this is a bit of a move like Optimus Prime, you know, the G1. Yeah, Lego is just going through our wallets because of the nostalgia. They haven't figured it out. Anyways, I was really happy, and there was a lot of rumors saying that there was going to be a Formula One car for icons, that they would move away from cars like the Mustang and the Camaro and so on. And I'm glad they did. This is a really good representation of the car. Some little Legofications here and there that I would probably have not taken the liberty to add, because keeping the shaping closer to the real thing would have probably been easier. But I'm good. But let's take a look, and so I can run you through my nitpicks. It's part of the job. So at first sight, the set only packs 693 pieces, but honestly, it felt, yeah, it feels like it's a bit more, probably because of the scale of it. And you get 7 numbered bags, pretty medium in size, I would say. And you start by building the little podium with Ayrton Senna, with his, you know, epic helmet. I mean, for people that like to collect minifigures, this is gonna get a lot of value throughout the years for sure. After that, you basically start building the bottom part of the car. You start by a first layer of the engine, and you don't build it all in one go. You come back as you go to complete it. At least 2 or 3 steps are really separate from each other. It was pretty fun, actually. I really enjoyed the build because it's yeah, it's pretty satisfying. I really enjoyed it very much. So let me take this out of the stand. Of course, there's a stand, a little plaque. I will get back to this later on. For now, let's focus. Why are you moving? Ah, this is ridiculous. It's like my house is crooked. Maybe it is. So let's take a good look at Mr. Ayrton Senna da Silva. It's a really nice minifigure. I'm sorry for the lighting, it's not really catching, but it's really nice. And there's this really nice inspirational sentence: no matter what your dream is, you have to dedicate yourself entirely to it. Inspiring. And I'm pretty sure that that's what he did, and that's how he got so far. At the end of the instructions manual, you can see that there's a little mention of the Ayrton Senna Foundation that probably takes care of his legacy. And so yeah, also the minifigure has an alternate face. I left that face that is happy, because the other face looks like he's speeding at 200 kilometers per hour, or 300, who knows. But yeah, a little podium is nice. Nothing too shabby, but really nice because of the plaque, and also because of the minifigure, of course. Now, This is the main thing, and this is absolutely a delight. Now, I don't really know where to start. Things I like. Mostly everything. I really like the new. I think so that's the thing. They seem a bit like the new Speed Champions tire and wheel setup they came up this year for Formula One. They feel like they're rubbery plastic, but the interior looks like hard plastic. So yeah, this is dual molded for sure. Then they came up also with the new suspension pieces that they use here. I think it was specifically for this set, but it's gonna be used everywhere for sure. There wasn't too many new parts. So there was the 2x1 tiles with the cutout, which of course those are gonna be everywhere. Yeah, that was mostly it. But there was probably more parts. I cannot recall at the moment. What I wasn't expecting was, well, the sticker sheet is not big. And talking of which, mine, I'm not sure if it was during transport or if it was when I was removing the bags from the package. The big sticker with Ayrton Senna's quote was stuck to one of the tires. So these tires are a bit, you know, they have quite a good grab, and they peeled the sticker out, and I was really scared. Fortunately, it was the first sticker to use, so I managed to just stick it out and apply it. So yeah, there was that. I wasn't very happy, but yeah. Now there are some elements here, like I almost forgot to show you this. Yay! So you can remove the back, and you can see the work done for the engine, which is pretty appropriate. It seems like it's a V6, or at least 6-cylinder. I'm not sure if it's a V6 or if it's a... Yeah, this is a V6. For sure. But I really like it. And then you can see the colors of the Brazilian flag here, so it's a little nod to colors that Ayrton Senna used to wear. There's also a little Easter egg inside. I will not talk too much about it. So yeah, the interior of the cockpit is pretty well done. So you have two levers on the sides. I got the chance to get close and personal with a car similar to these 80s Formula One cars like 20 years ago, and yeah, the cockpit is really narrow, and you do have little levers that go back and forth, probably gear shift that are sequential. I might be wrong, I don't know. And so this really brought me back to that day. Anyways, there's a lot of printed parts, and even though the sticker sheet is not too big, it's really not a big deal. The stickers are very well spaced throughout the build. It's really a non-problem. It's perfectly reasonable. And then I realized that a lot of the decoration of the car is printed. So you have the nose with Honda, the 12, Shell, and McLaren. Then these two are prints. I didn't notice, but the little transparent windscreen is printed with a Tag Heuer logo. I'm not sure if I butchered Tag Heuer. I'm not sure if that's the name of the brand. Then the Powered by Honda is a print. And then you have a really nice one, which is you have a 2x6, which has a whole McLaren. And then you have a 1x8 that has only half of the print, giving this offset like a real thing. So that was a really nice detail. There's a little console. Also, I think it's an old or a design that Lego uses. CD sets and other themes. But yeah, I mean, I really like this. So yeah, nitpicks. I have some. Overall, I like this car quite a lot. Yeah, these wheels, you can go, you just, you can just kick on that throttle and these tires are gonna hold really well. Oh, pet peeves. First of all, so in the instructions they say to do this, to put the, I don't get it. It would be a lot more, well, it would be a lot more accurate if this was, this is a hard one. The stand here that's holding the mirror should be 45, but the mirror itself represented with the red curved sloped piece. This is the way they should be. So yeah. Anyways, I mean, they're designers, they have their artistic view. It's fun because inside the cockpit you can see two little gray pieces that I think they represent the pedals, but that's not accurate. It should, maybe it's just to look like the bottom of the back A or the driving seat. Then of course, so the steering works. That is great. There's not a lot of room inside the cockpit area. Of course, they would never be able to do an accurate, a survival cell or whatever. Its purpose is not to put a figure inside or whatever. So that's perfectly fine. And still talking about the printed parts, these one by one here to show an air intake. They can be found in other places. I think they had all white one by ones with this black graphic. I think it was reused somewhere inside them. Maybe here. Yeah, I think inside this we can find more. And then of course we got these two big elements. Now, although I agree that for the back one, it's better to have a red piece with the white printing on it. For the front one, I don't agree with it. I know that everyone on the internet must be saying, oh, this white is not opaque enough, and yeah, they're absolutely right. Pad printing can be unforgiving, and I'm not sure if it's because the type of inks they use, if it's because the amount of ink they use, because it's a production line. If there's too much ink, when the part is taken out from the pad printing machine and thrown inside of the bucket, there might be problems if the ink is not properly dry. So I'm not sure if that's the problem with Lego, but white is always very unforgiving, I'd say, when it's printed on colored parts. So I'm like, eh. And for this, it would have been a lot better if the part that I have here, this big curved piece, was white. And they would just print these three faces. They didn't even need to go here because the whole front should be white. So it would make a lot more sense if the white would be showing at the bottom of the piece with the red on top. And so I don't understand this decision, to be frank. I don't know if they're limited by the stock of parts they have, and they say, hey, we need to go with red because we have a lot of red, or we don't have enough production of this part in white. I have no idea when it's the moment to decide this, but I would imagine that the designers are pretty much they pretty much safeguard from that, because you see new colors coming, and you see so many sets with the colors that you would never imagine that they would produce in those specific colors, and until they do it. So I'm kind of, what gives? Also, they didn't go for the graphic that used to be associated with a cigarette brand that will not be mentioned, although this livery is all based on that brand. That brand is known for having a hard edge here, you know, like a angled, and they went with the one that is rounded. Now, even if you see this car online without the brand, that cigarette brand associated to it, they still use a lot of times the one that is like this. But you can also find some versions where that was rounded. So you can still see the first paint job. I'm not sure if it was painted or if it was vinyl. You can still see it there, but then they added the rounded part. And I think it was really for Lego to completely get away from the association with that brand. You don't have the Goodyear brand here or here. They have the McLaren one. Another thing that I would have preferred would have been, so you see this angle, it's very pronounced, this red bit. I would have preferred, and that's what I was saying earlier, it would have been probably easier for them to just do a 45-degree angle instead of having these two pronounced curves, and just cut it. Also, a thing I see, and it's kind of a nice touch. I saw this video from Racing Bricks. He went all in. He 3D printed new tires based on these ones that were a bit larger. So he measured the front ones and he said, okay, if the real thing is this wide, then the back one should be this wide, and he did it. And the car looks a lot better, of course, but they did a little thing here because, of course, Lego would never do two width for the same model of wheel and tire. I don't remember really seeing them do something like that. But what they did, they kind of offset where the wheel is on the inside, so you can still see that the back wheel is a bit on the outside more than the front ones, and visually it kind of tricks you into thinking that the back has larger wheels, even though, I mean, yeah, they're not, but the fact that the distance between the two wheels on the back is bigger than on the front kind of delivers, and so I think that was really smart of them. Then there's little details like on the back wing. I would have probably not used the tile here because the tile is a 45-degree angle. I would probably have used the same angled piece here instead. I would not have mind to see the studs on the side, but because the angle at least would have been a lot more accurate. But yeah, at first glance, those are my little nitpicks. I would probably also have liked to not see two white plates here, only one, to make the air intake look bigger. But I'm good with it. It's a really nice model, and it's very striking, and it's yeah, I really like it. If you didn't notice yet. So yeah, it's a really nice one. And the building, like I said, the build experience is very satisfying, and everything fits. There's not a lot of, it's very straightforward, but very satisfying, I would say. And I think it's a really good piece to have on a shelf. It's, yeah, if you like Formula One, this year, this is the one to have. And also the Speed Champions McLaren. Yeah, Lego this year is going big with McLaren, and it shows. And I'm really glad that their collaboration is giving us really nice sets. Then for the little stand, the stand is pretty straightforward. Looks like, you know, something made of concrete or like that, you know, something very fits perfectly the theme. And like any model like UCS or something more exclusive, it has the little info plaque. Oh, this car is really light. It's like Alpha Ton. And on the bottom, yeah, you can see where you can put the stand. So if you prefer to have it in one way or the other, it's up to you. I'll have it like on the instructions. It holds the 500 kilos of the car pretty well. Yeah, it's a very elegant set, and I'm really happy about this. And our friend here to top it up. Really happy. I'm really happy. And honestly, I think the next one they should do would be like the Tyrrell P34, I think with a Renault engine. Might be wrong there. I mean, imagine that 6-wheel beast. That would be awesome. I mean, bring them on. I said this in one of my previous reviews. Lego with Speed Champion is trying to get itself in that niche of the market that likes diecast cars and likes knows about cars, likes to display them. And now that we are in the 8 stud phase of Speed Champions, they're getting closer and closer, even though they're models that are very Lego-fied. But with this, they're even closer of getting to that niche market, because this is bigger than the 1/18 or 1/16 scale. There's one I know is the most popular one. I used to have those diecasts that were more or less this size. I remember having this one in a 1/24 scale, I think, which were a bit smaller. And this is probably like 1/12. I need to check it. And boy, I'm sure a lot of people would love these. It's not like people don't like the Camaro or the Mustang, or maybe less people like the Corvette. If they think about doing a bit more of cars that were, you know, competition cars, like a Peugeot 205 rally car with the Peugeot livery from the Group B, or if they decide to do, I don't know, they can go anywhere, and that would be amazing. Shut up and take my money. So yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect one-to-one representation. The shaping here is a bit weird, especially here, and this is not an air intake, this is a head protection. Air intakes, you start seeing them after some years after this car, where the top is also air intake, but in this case it's just to protect the driver in case of a crash. I really like it, even with these little flaws, because it's a Legofication, you know. And so there's a bit of room for improvement, and I think that's also one of Lego's things of, you know, they don't want to make a perfect model. They want to make something that is first and foremost Lego, that shows their brand. Because if you see other brands that do brick-based construction, you can see models that are very accurate to the real things, but Lego doesn't want that. They want to give you space to improve on what they've done, and also they want to keep it very Lego, and I think that's fair. So price wise, and I think the 80 euros MSRP is quite fair, at least if you don't look at the piece count. But what you get here is really nice. And again, my view of this might be a bit off because I also got this on sale again, and it cost me 67 euros, and that was an amazing price. So I'm really happy with this, of course. And if you can find it on sale, even if you cannot find it on sale, just pull the trigger and you find out that it's very worthy of your money. Of course, I'm talking to F1 fans probably, or McLaren or Senna fans, and you'll probably feel that it's money well spent, especially because it's such a really nice showcase piece. It comes with all the bells and whistles from exclusive sets like the UCS sets from Star Wars, you know, with a little plaque on the front. You can remove the stand. You even have working steering, and come on, what's not to love here? So yeah, I think they did a great job, and I do hope they expand on this idea and or bring better ideas still. Sometimes we can be very critical of Lego because we don't really know how they run things over there in Denmark, but every once in a while they come up with really nice stuff, and I'm happy to say that this is one of those. So I hope you like this review. Hopefully I'll be off the racetrack with Lego, and I'll be probably able to bring you some Lego City next. I'm dying for Lego City. Anyways, have a nice one. Like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it, and yeah, see you around.